I have a gym, and we have 3 classes, and I want to keep track of the people who have registered for each of the classes, and I want to keep track of when when the last time each of these people checked in for each one of those classes, and I want to make sure that if somebody doesn't check in for one of their classes in, let's say, 2 weeks, that they're sent an email. So I want to show you how I'm going to set this up using the PlusThis easy check-in feature and an Infusionsoft system. So first thing we're going to go to is we're going to go add the easy check-in feature. And let me show you how we're going to set this up. We're going to go into the feature. We're going to first decide on a tag that's going to represent registration for one of the classes. Okay, so I've got 3 classes, so we'll just go down and find running class, for example. That'll be my first class. So registered will be the tag that I'll use for that. And then as soon as the tag is the code is scanned, it's going to be generated. There's another tag that needs to be applied, and that's going to be the badge scanned tag. Okay. Now, where should we store the latest check-in time? We want to keep track of when the last time they checked in so that if we need to follow up with them, we know, hey, last time we saw you was on this date. So we're going to put that into the running class most recent check-in date and time. Now we need to configure the badge because we're actually going to print these badges off and give them to the customers, give them to the people that come and they register for the classes so when they show up we have something to scan. We're just going to put first and last name on there, so we'll select first and last name and then have them scan that there. Now, we actually will have we have 2 other classes we're going to configure. So we don't actually want to create a unique QR code for this event because we want them to be able to use this QR code for any of the 3 classes they might be registered for. They may only be registered for 1 or 2 of the classes, but we want to make sure that whichever class they come to, they could scan this code. Okay? We do still want to password protect the check-in, meaning only people that have the password can successfully check somebody into a class. So you don't want, that just keeps people from scanning the badge on their own. So we'll create a password here. And then we also want to show a page where we're going to display some information about the person. So first we're going to say running class checked in. And then we're going to display goals that they have. Well, we're also going to display the running class most recent check-in. So we want to see when the last time they checked in was. And then I also want to display their goals. Just so that every time somebody checks in, the instructor, whoever's checking them in, can review what the person, what their goals are. And you could have a specific field for this particular class, like what are your running class goals when they register. But that's essentially how we're going to do that. And then we'll just give this a name. This will be running class. Now, in Infusionsoft, what I need to do is first create a way for these people to register for those classes. So I'm going to actually come in here. I have a campaign, and what I'm going to do when I create this campaign is it's twofold, right? The first part of it that I have to configure is how people are going to get registered for the particular classes that they will then attend. And so the first thing that we're going to do inside this campaign is I've created a web form with just some checkboxes, and so when you check off the box, it will apply the registration tag, which will create the QR code for that particular contact. And then also, and there's 3 of them, so it could apply the tag for all 3 of them at the same time. And then the second half of it is we need to have it configured so that when somebody actually checks in, we reset a timer that's going to check to see and make sure that they check in every 2 weeks at least. Okay. So the way that we have this set up, first we have the register for classes. This is just a simple web form with some checkboxes on it, and also a place for us to put in the goals. So that when somebody registers, and that could also be when they sign up online, they could put in their goals, whatever you're having them do. But in this instance, we're registering people for the classes manually. And then each of the checkboxes just has the tag being applied directly on it, so that when you check the box, it will apply the tag to register them in PlusThis so that we can make sure that they're showing up correctly there. And so the form is fairly simple. It just looks like this. Okay. Now, back at the campaign level, every time the badge is scanned for one of the classes, for example, the running badge, we're applying the tag that we configured before, the running class badge scan tag, which is what we configured in the feature. And then inside this sequence, what we're doing is we're applying a tag. The tag that we're applying is running class restart 2-week timer. And then we're going to wait a day and then remove both the tag, the badge scan tag, because they can only come to 1 class per day, and we're going to remove the restart the 2-week timer tag. And the reason why we're doing that is because every time they check in, we want to reset a timer that waits 2 weeks and then notifies somebody internally. So here's what the timer looks like. 2 weeks, and then an email that's going to be sent out to the class member as well as to the administrator as well as to the trainer, right? Whoever we want to send it to. We could also just apply a tag here. But the email is going to go out so that we can follow up with them and see, hey, we haven't seen you in a couple weeks. What's going on? Now, the way we have that configured is when the reset 2-week timer tag is applied, it's going to achieve this goal, which is going to kick off that sequence. And then when the badge scan tag is applied, it's going to achieve this goal over here and this goal over here. So first, this tag gets applied, which will stop the 2-week timer. And then inside this sequence, the 2-week timer tag is applied, which will apply this. And then after a day, both those tags will get removed so that if the badge gets scanned again the next day, it'll reset it. Okay, and that's the way we've done it. Now, what we're going to do is repeat that entire process, the building of the feature in PlusThis and the campaign structure here for the lifting badge and for the eating badge. So basically, there's the two other classes: lifting and nutrition. Now, what we need to do is go and actually print off those QR codes. So if I come in here, all the people that are registered are going to show up in a list, and then I'm going to want to print off all those badges and put them on the Avery label so that we can actually hand them out to people. We can put them on cards. Or however we want to do that. So what we're going to do is come up to Event Menu, and we're going to click on Print Badges for all eligible records. Now, this is going to create a PDF, and it's going to format them, the QR codes, so they're going to fit on this Avery template 5390. Those are just little stickies that you can pull off and then put on whatever you want. And then we can offset it if we've already used some of the stickies on that particular sheet. So we're not going to do an offset now. We're just going to click Get Badges. And that's going to create a PDF with the QR code and the name configured the way that we've configured it. Now, in this instance, it just has the first name, and that's because the contact record doesn't have a last name on it. So this will show up. We'll print this off, and we'll put it on the sticker for the badges for that Avery 5390, and then we'll distribute those. Now, every time this code is scanned, it will allow them to check in for that particular class, and that's the way that we're going to set that up.